So I'm going to start with Daniel Kahneman. Who in the room has read Daniel Kahneman's book? Okay, a few worthy souls. I've got it here in front of me. It is a heavyweight tome. I would recommend, if you haven't read it, get hold of it, and by all accounts start at the end, the two selves bit. My wife's bizarre. She reads the last page of every book that she reads. I've never understood it. She just kind of wants to get straight to the climax, I guess. And then she goes back to the beginning. Buy this book, start at the end, and then see how it captures your attention. Now, I think everybody will be aware of the concept of System 1 and System 2 thinking. We are fundamentally lazy beasts. System 1 is what we do unconsciously. It's the habits that we get into. It's the thing when we're going through the supermarket, we reach out and we grab the products we want to get without looking. And then when we reach for one and it's not there, we have to stop. We go further up and think, why are they doing that? Why have they moved it? It's always there. And we feel somewhat aggrieved. That's our habitual purchasing behavior. The other part is when we have to think about things, change our routines, change our patterns, and actually start to consciously think about why we need to buy something and then to make a decision. That's hard, and most of us consciously try to avoid doing that most of the time. That takes much more of our energy than the habitual stuff that we do. Which all leads very much to the power of brands. I was talking about this before in the, in the breakout area before we came in here, and the power of brands and the associations that we have with brands, which allows us to make decisions without really having to think about it too much. All those are positive associations, whether it's the organization, whether it's the product. I've got an Apple sign up there. Some research I did recently, 35-year-old fellow. I buy Apple products because I'm a cool cat who's up with the times. Lots of associations going on there. It's not about the functionality of the Apple per se. I guess a high percentage of people in this room will have an Apple phone in the pocket. It's a thing of beauty. So there is a visual, aesthetic thing going on that we're buying into there, and we're prepared to pay a bit more for it. The quote below, I feel smug when people ask me about my Primark dress. This was a really interesting bit of work I did recently, where a young 28-year-old woman was saying, I feel really smug about this. I'm trying to convince my mother that she can stop shopping at Hobbs and shop in Primark because she'll get just as much pleasure out of it. It's a hard task, but her mother will eventually come round. And that tutoring up the way, if you like, to the older generations happening more and more as we look to learn from our offspring in particular, who teach us lessons in life that we kind of tune into. I feel smug. She then went on to say, buying dresses from Primark means I can buy a handbag from Mulberry. And my boyfriend doesn't. My boyfriend has no idea how much it costs. Now, I thought a bag from Mulberry would cost about £200. I am somewhat deluded, it seems. I'm told it's about £1,000. So the fact that, by the way, this young lady, who's a fascinating character, is a 28-year-old lawyer. So buying clothes from Primark to go to functions and buying the Mulberry bag. I wonder how many Mulberry bags there are in the room right now where boyfriends or husbands don't know how much they cost. That's a fascinating insight into what's going on in somebody's head in the decision-making process. It's about how it made her feel. That's how it made her feel. So the dress, it makes her feel a little bit smug, so there's a thing of pride going on in here. But there's also a thing of being canny with money. I mean, since 2008, we're all very conscious of how we spend cash. You know, whether you have or have not got money, we're all being canny with how we utilize our money. We're kind of buying into the coolness of being savvy with cash, irrespective of how affluent we happen to be. So there are two things going on to the left or right of the chart, whichever way you want to interpret it, whether you're looking at it or standing here. But on the far side, what else is going on? That aspect of the Mulberry is, I am significant, I am relevant, is a conscious facet of the decision-making process. And I am progressing. I am moving on in life, which is fundamentally what we are looking to be doing with our lives. Our life story at the end of the journey, we want to be a good life story. We want to progress through life. So all of that is going up in that simple I buy Primark dresses quote that young lady came out with. Meeting customer needs. Now, it's a black and white chart, but there's a hell of a lot of content on it. You know, I guess the summation of a life's work tells me that these dimensions I've put on here are pretty much fundamentally what's at play in Britain today. Care, identity and belonging, fundamental drivers of decision making. Whether it's care being shown to us personally or the care that we give, and we're much more becoming a kind of collegiate community oriented society where we're caring more about the communities to whom we subscribe. Care and dealing with companies that show that they care, fundamental within the decision-making process. Identity, how do I display who I am to the outside world? Back to my lady on the previous page, I'll buy Primark and then I buy the Mulberry bag. Not me, but her. I buy the Mulberry bag. I have permission to do it. So you've got that reward mechanism coming in as well, which is why on TV you're seeing because you deserve it. Customer experience, it's about how we feel. You can be looking to make your customers feel either mildly pleased or something just a little bit more related than that. That's enough for me. Thank you very much.